Do you think that a lot of guys, because I see a lot of guys that have been in relationships for 10 years, 15 years, and they stop working out, they get these dad bods, and they're do you think a lot of that is due to because their wife or their partner supports it and says, "Hey, honey, you look great in the dad bod. Keep rocking it."
I think it's a little bit of that. I think what it has more to do with, there's some studies that show as men get married, their testosterone levels drop, and when they get divorced, their testosterone levels go back up. Your testosterone levels are a function of genetics, but they're also a function of nutrition, and they're also a function of your environment. Meaning, if you and me every day were to change our lifestyle where we weren't podcasters, but instead we were baling hay and working out on a farm every day, our testosterone levels would have to go up out of necessity. Does that make sense? So what happens is when the men start doing the more domesticated tasks of being in a family, their testosterone levels drop. And their body, because they're subconsciously aware of the fact that they're not choosing, they're not searching for a new mate, all of their efforts are taking care of the newborn and providing for their family, then they don't need the certain aspects, the assertiveness and aggressiveness that they previously had to go out and talk to a new woman and try to find a new partner. Does that make sense? So evolution dictates that now I'm in a relationship, my testosterone levels are going to drop. Then when they get divorced, their testosterone levels go up.
Yeah, you're on the market again. I will say this though, like if you're out there listening to this and you're looking for some sort of accountability to get in shape, one of the best ways to do that is to start a podcast, get on camera, because now you're on camera every single week, and you want to look good, you want to feel good. So it is kind of like a little bit of support group as well, right?
I went from like 204 to like 222, and I got on TRT, and was pushing up so much weight, and my face got fatter, and I was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. And I did exactly what you said. I have some other friends of mine that they got either on TRT or something else, so they started like lifting heavy, and they would eat more calories, and like they looked better, their body did, but their face got fatter, and they're like, I don't want to do this because it makes me look older. So that's something that can
Are
definitely
you on
happen
the
to you.
TRT right now?
Yeah, for sure. I've
Yeah.
been a proponent of it. I'm
How often
46.
do you take it a week?
4 years. I take it. You can take it as much as you want. I know some guys who do 7 days a week, and they'll split it up into 7 days. I do 3 or 2. In the winter, I'll do it twice a week. I just don't want to be troubled with it. In the summer, I'll do 3 times a week.
Do you notice a difference in performance between 2 and 3 without the ups and downs?
Not really.
No. But one a week you would feel the ups and downs,
The
right?
ups and downs thing really wasn't a big deal for me. And when I was doing it once a week, I didn't really notice a huge difference. I know some people do. I have a buddy of mine, he's 77 years old, and he does 7 days a week. But he does the 25 gauge needles. He'll just stick it in his butt 7 days a week. I haven't seen that much of a difference, honestly.
For me, I know it's in the cards. I haven't started it yet, but I know I will at some point, probably in my 40s. I'm 38 right now. Right now, I feel good. I have a lot of natural energy. And, I want to start it at some point. Because of the injection and all that, I'm like, I don't know, it's another thing I don't want to deal with right now.
It's a meditation for me. Because you'll transmute in your mind. It's like, I'm taking this, and because of this, my BMI is going to decrease. Or no, what is it? My resting metabolic rate is going to increase. Like, I literally think of it like that. Like when you start the pain that comes from injecting. By the way, I'll give you guys a tip if any of you ever do this. You know the cold plunge?
No. Oh, the cold plunge. Yeah. Everyone's
do the cold plunge. You're numb afterwards.
Mm.
Then shoot right after you do the cold plunge. You don't feel anything. There's also like, go further back in your hip, like behind your hip. There's some spots there that are just dead. There's no nerves at all, or there's very few nerves. Just shoot it back there in the fat. Some people say you have to go intermuscularly. You don't. The studies have shown that's not true. You can put it in the fat. Go in the very back of your hip, shoot it right after you get out of the cold plunge. You won't feel anything. It's totally like,
yeah.
And it also encourages you to do the cold plunge in the morning, which is what you should be doing.
I don't mind the pain. I got tattoos all over. I don't mind the pain. For me, it's just like, maybe it's probably a limiting belief. It's just like the hassle that it would be to like get a freaking injection out and have to do this like twice a week. And like if I travel and all that stuff, I got to think about that.
I really like the way I look in the mirror now, probably better than any point in my life.
And
I
if that's the
associate
sacrifice you
that
gotta
with the shooting.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why.
Yeah, I like that.
I will tell you, like, you still have to diet, because what will happen is you'll take TRT and your appetite will go up, and you can get out of control. You see the guys that get the big old fucking fat necks. And
I didn't know that. I thought it was easier to burn fat when you're on the TRT.
It is easier to burn fat, but you're also hungrier.
Got it.
So, like, I have some friends of mine that are doing, they're male strippers, and I'll ask them all the time, I'm like, what are you on? And I'll never do the shit they're on. These guys are on fucking 300 Tren, 300 Winnie, 300 Test, and 300 fucking Anabar at the same damn time, bro. And I'm like, bro, and their traps are fucking huge, and they're eating 2,400 calories a week or a day, and they're like ripped as shit. So they're like, so every calorie they eat goes into protein synthesis, so it all turns into muscle, and they have no body fat. If you're ever wondering how like those male strippers do it, that's how they do it. I have a buddy of mine right now. He's like, dude, I'm not long for this earth. All of you know who he is. I'm not going to say who he is, but He's doing 1,000 tren and 1,000 tests a week.
Damn.
And he doesn't give a fuck. Like, he's just like, I love being fucking huge. I'm never getting to that point. That's correct. Like 100 milligrams a test, you should be good. You should be fine. If you're, and then get your levels checked. If your estrogen levels are too high, maybe take an estrogen blocker or just reduce the amount of testosterone that you take. I know some people don't like HCG and clomidophan. I do think HCG is really good, especially if you want to have kids. I think it's really important. There are ways to do this stuff. People are always, well, the TRT thing, the first thing people say to me is like, well, what happens if I want to have kids? It's going to reduce my sperm count. I'm like, there are ways you can fix it. Take HCG. That'll definitely help you. Flex Lewis had 2 kids while he was competing for Mr. Olympia at 208. That means he's taking a fucking ton of steroids, and he had 2 kids. So definitely possible. Don't convince yourself that that's the case. But the other thing is, there's a point that I think a lot of people, I know we don't want to talk about TRT the whole time, but this is a really important point. Greg Doucette came on my show last week, and he said there's a point at which your testosterone level is so low that it's way healthier for you to be on TRT than not be on TRT. That's where I got. When I was 42, I was dating this stunning model. She's a huge model. And I was not that interested in having sex with her, but more than once every other day. And if she goes back, if you were to ask her right now, she would tell you, be like, yeah, Michael just wasn't that interested in sex. And she's not lying. My testosterone levels have gotten like horribly low. And then when I got on TRT with my girlfriend now, it's like, we'll have sex 4 or 5 times a day. Like, how is that? I'm the same person though. Like, what's changed? And the reality is that my libido and my ability to burn fat and produce muscle has changed so much because of a little bit of testosterone. Just keeping
What are
it
your
up
levels?
to a normal. I'd like to be in the maybe 700-800 level.
Yeah. And what are
When
you
I'm
naturally?
older, I'm going to get down to 600 probably.
Yeah. What are you naturally without the test?
Naturally, I think I was 30 something,
Okay.
getting into the 200s.
I gotta go get tested because now that I'm not drinking and all that, I think it's a good time to go in and get up my blood work